Okay, here we go. No way to put this easy, okay? The top 5 reasons why you suck when you go to a tournament. Okay, maybe not just completely suck. How about this? 5 reasons why you suck more often than you should at a tournament. Okay? Let's get started. Number 1, you need to have the basics down. Don't try to do something that you're not capable of. So number 1 is you lack basic skills or knowledge. There's tons of knowledge out there on YouTube. You get it from me, you get it from anybody else, you get it from dozens of professional fishermen. There's plenty of knowledge, okay? So there's no excuse. Like my hat, it's kind of cockeyed here. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So, lack of knowledge or skill. What does that mean? How many times have you gone down a row of docks and there's pontoon boats on the docks and you're trying to skip up under the pontoon boat, and every time you skip, dong, 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 you're scaring bass. You're not going to catch fish. Okay? That's number 1. Reason number 2. No good way to put this. You lack attention to detail. Are you throwing a swim bait out that's all kinked up? Don't swim right? How about your worm? Is it all like humped up and weird looking and stuff like that, and you go to reel it back in, it spins your line up? Do you not clear all the snot off of a treble hook on a crankbait when you're throwing it? Do you not have enough line on your spinning reels because you got 27 bird's nests last time and you really should have changed the line, but you didn't? That affects how much you're going to suck on a particular day. Did you do it? Did you not do it? Are you going to suck or are you not going to suck? It makes a difference. Number 3, poor practice habits. Face it, y'all. Not a lot of us actually know how to practice. You know, they have that old saying, practice makes perfect. Well, perfect practice makes perfect. What do I mean by that? Well, without making a whole video about it, let's just say there are lakes where you catch multiple fish off of spots and single fish off of spots. Being able to recognize that and not winning practice, if you know what I mean, going out and smoking them the day before the tournament, can make a difference. There are some lakes where you're going to pull up on a spot and it's not going to replenish. There's not a lot of fish in that lake, or fishing pressure is super heavy. So why sting one when you don't have to? Go without hooks. Easy as that. Are you in a place like Lake Champlain where it's larger schools of fish, where you can afford to catch a few fish and see what general size they are? Okay? That's perfect practice. Learning different things about different lakes. Knowing when to lean on the fish a little bit, knowing when not to. Spending more time is great, but if you're spending time in areas where there are no fish, it doesn't make any sense. You're wasting time. Again, bad practice. How about this one for number 4? Beating yourself. How many times have you gone out on a lake, had a decent practice, had a decent game plan, things don't go quite like you planned, and you spin out? Okay? G-Man talks about positive mental attitude. Okay? I don't know about being positive when a 5-pounder jumps off, but not completely losing your shit. Okay? Sure, you can be upset, but you can be upset for a couple seconds. You got to get back to business. Okay? Another thing with that, just because you expect something to happen doesn't mean it's going to happen. You may have had a good early morning bite going into tournament day. If it doesn't materialize, you've still got 7 hours of fish or 6.5 hours of fish or whatever. Okay? You can't get spun out. Or, here's the other one. Now, show up to a tournament. Okay, I'm going to fish a tournament with my buddy. It's a buddy tournament. Elite Pro shows up. Oh, let's go home. He's going to win. I got news for you. They don't always win. They don't always win. I fish in a bass club where I've got an elite pro that shows up sometimes. We've got a former classic qualifier, former national champions, okay? And they don't win all the time. They don't even place all the time, okay? So don't beat yourself. How about this one for number 5? Who's guilty of this? I'm guilty of it. Do it all the time. Trying to force fish into eating something they don't want. Okay? My 2 oldest sons. Okay? Steve and Nick. Steve works in the HVAC field. Okay? He does a lot of his work with a pair of channel locks. Even when he could use an open egg box wrench, just got a pair of channel locks, so just take it off with the channel locks. Kind of works. Rounds out some nuts and bolts and stuff like that, but it's no big deal. My other son, Nick, he works for a big company doing diesel repair. If he doesn't have a 13 millimeter box wrench, well, he's just not doing the job, because that job takes a 13 millimeter box wrench, and I wouldn't dare think about going out and getting a pair of channel locks unless I'm stuck on the road and all I've got is a pair of channel locks. The same applies to bass fishing. On a day when they're not quite coming up and eating a buzzbait, don't keep throwing the buzzbait. Maybe throw a chatterbait. Maybe a fluke. Maybe this, maybe that. Don't be afraid to change. Remember, just because you want the fish to do something doesn't mean they're going to do it. Ever. It's not up to you. It's up to the fish. So, that's my 5 tips on how not to suck. Not that suck is bad, nearly as bad. I'll do a video on every one of these tips. But that's it. How not to suck is bad. Till next time, see ya.